Hey everyone, James with TFB TV. Today on TFB TV, we're doing the top 5 Hollywood guns. And I said, Taryn, I want you to tell me what the 5 coolest guns from film are. Yeah. What are they? Let's start with number 5.
I probably brought 10 out here, but we're going to try to make it 5, okay?
Okay, we'll try to make it 5.
I'll kind of go back to my childhood to kind of start it, what caught my eye in movies. And there was a movie came out, obviously Dirty Harry was a big deal in the gun industry, it changed the world, but this part 2 is called Magnum Force. And that movie changed competition. My life was built on competition, going to USPSA matches, IDPA matches. And in that movie, Clint Eastwood is going against these vigilante cops. They all had pythons. They had 4-inch pythons. So there was Hutch, there was the guy Dan Tana, Robert Urich, all those guys. They had these pythons in the movie. And the first gun I ever owned was this Colt Python right here. So I love this gun, but then the Hutch character, David Soul, was in Magnum Force. He wanted to be Hutch, Starsky and Hutch. I love Starsky and Hutch. Like, I loved it. And Michael Mann, that's where he got where he started.
Oh, okay.
That's how he know that. Yeah. He did episodes of Starsky and Hutch starring Edward James Olmos. Mm-hmm. So like you see, the people he's meeting ended up in Miami Vice. So 10 years later, he's doing Miami Vice. Mm-hmm. So I love the Python, but then Hutch first had a stupid little 38. Then he got a 4-inch Python, it's cool. Then they said, man, the 6-inch looks sick. So when he's like, put it down, you got that big vent rib. It's, to me, the most beautiful double-action revolver ever made. Now, the Smith & Wessons are probably, they're more reliable and they're better, blah, blah. But there's even a new Python came out now that's all redesigned internally to have like the strength of the Smith & Wesson and still the beautiful look of the Python. So to me, like Hutch, his Python. Also, there's a movie, one of the best shootouts ever filmed is a movie called The Getaway with Steve McQueen. And he's got a 45, 1911, and this Alatieri guy, this bad guy, has the Python. And they do a bank robbery, and he's going to try to just do him in and get all the money. And so, so he's got his Python behind his back like this, like it's just sitting behind his back all weird. He's gonna kill Steve McQueen. He's like, I know this guy's gonna try to jack me. So Steve McQueen knew guns, knew how to shoot. So he wouldn't just do the old get ready for a shootout, rack the gun and go. You know, he would press check. Back in 1972.
That's
right?
pretty advanced,
yeah,
right?
He knew how to shoot. This guy goes to kill him. He's like, you didn't make it. Yeah, I did. He goes to shoot Steve McQueen. He just shreds him from the hip. Boom, boom, boom. The guy's got a vest on, right? Falls down a cliff. Then Steve McQueen shoots one more, jacks him up a little bit, but he's not dead. He's going to be chasing him the rest of the movie. So after that scene, when he comes...
Well, spoiler alert, goddamn.
Yeah, well, it's 72. So he comes back to life, this Alatieri guy, and he's got the Python. I'm thinking this is what happened behind the scenes. So he goes to get up the hill, and he's using the gun as a prop. In the mud and the dirt, it's all full of dirt in the Python. I bet the armor went like, you ruined my Python, because they're like $600 back in the 70s. So later, the gun is still in the movie, but the final shootout, in the bitchin' shootout, you got Steve McQueen's got a pump-action shotgun, shooting fast as crap, blasting guys down the staircase. It's awesome. It's a Sam Peckinpah film, so the action's good, the bullet holes are bitchin'. So later in the scene where he goes to Dub Taylor and he puts it against his nose like this, what room is he in? It's a stupid Colt Trooper. Mm-hmm. No more vent rib. It looks like a Smith & Wesson, no underlug. I'm like, what a dick armor. This movie's going to be forever, rest of our lives, one of the best action movies ever made. And he had to like put in the substitute.
I mean, did they have armors back then? You know, I mean, it could have been just like, you know, Gus from accounting.
True. I think he was pissed because he scratched up his Python and he put in the stunt dick piece of crap trooper turd and ruined the scene. So, and the funny thing, that Alatieri guy had this gun again when he chased down Charles Bronson and Mr. Majestic. He's like the Python guy.
I bet 90% of people watching that movie had no idea. And it's like Taryn's like, oh my God, the movie, it's been ruined.
Yeah. Mr. Majestic and I know it's old, but they did good stuff in the old days. It wasn't ruined. So that's those guns there.
All right, let's move on to number 4 then. Okay,
so semi-automatic 45s. I loved Magnum PI. Mm-hmm. He had a 45, even though it wasn't a 45. It's a 9mm. And if you look at when he puts the mag in the gun, the mag is not like a 45. It has ridges for 9mm, but it's supposed to be a 45.
Right.
There's an awesome scene with Bo Svensson as this Ivan. He's this stupid German, Russian, whatever, tortured Magnum in Vietnam, tortured TC. He comes back in the future, to nowadays to kill them, chase around the island. They kill Mac, who's a regular character on the show after like 3 years in the show. This is one of the most awesome scenes in TV history, right? It's like a movie to me. So Ivan's walking away, and Magnum is just a good guy. Good guys don't shoot people in the back, right? And he's like talking to Magnum. Magnum, you won't shoot. You're a good guy. You won't do it. He's like, so Magnum's like starts, losing, like Arnold in Conan, where he kind of like he's talking, Falsadur, my son, I'm with you, all this stuff, So he loses attention, and then he realizes his friend got killed. He's walking away, and he goes, Ivan, what is it, Magnum? Did you see the sunrise this morning? He goes, yes, I did. He goes, fucking radical fireball comes out. Actual blanks, not CG crap. It kills him. So back in like 1983, like, oh my God, he shot a guy in cold blood on a TV show on CBS, you know. I was lucky enough in 2005, when I started getting into movie stuff, a friend of mine called me up and he's like, hey, do you want to watch Tom Cruise train for Collateral? And so I was able to meet Michael Mann, and he had never seen Infinity guns before. All he'd seen was just regular 45, Springfield, Colt, whatever. So David Russo was the brother of Rene Russo, brought the guns to his office, showed him the guns, and he flipped out over the Infinity. So the whole thing was like, I'm going to get to design the gun for Crockett. So I got to work on Miami Vice. So I designed a gun. Michael Mann wanted this gun. It was a 45. So this is the 45 barrel. Infinities are cool because the breech face pops out. You can change calibers.
Cool. Yeah.
So I don't have the 45 barrel in here right now because the 9 is just cheaper to shoot, especially the way world is nowadays. So that's what it looks like in Miami Vice. The disappointing part is that we trained, you know, Colin Farrell came out here, the whole thing, laid out 1 million guns. Michael Mann's like looking at guns and all these guns, and Colin Farrell liked my guns. So they picked this gun. Infinity built these guns, cost 40 grand. They did 6 guns. I'm at the 3-gun nationals in Bend, Oregon, having the worst first day ever. I came back and won and beat Horner. You dick. Anyway, just kidding. I did though. So anyway, so we're in the, me, Matt Burkett, and all these guys are sitting, all my 3-gun friends sitting there. And we're watching the movie, like, oh my God, this is so cool to see this gun. It was just, we built this crazy cool gun, right? Watch the movie, and shootout happens, and here's the gun for 1 second in the scene. When they're doing the load up, all the guns, get into gear, the mags. Here's the gun. And then I'm like, shootout's coming. All he has is a freaking SIG 550, you know. It's just shredding all these guys, blowing their feet off underneath the car, shoots the guy in the forehead. And then the movie's over. I'm like, holy crap. All that work. The gun had to go back to Infinity overnight, change the front sight, send it back, test fire.
Just for a little press check.
So I was like, all that work. And I call the producer. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell? He's like, dude, they cut out a whole boat scene, cost $5 million. Shut up about your $40,000.
Yeah, that's Michael Mann money, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was Jamie Foxx, the new one,
Yeah,
right?
the newer one. Yeah. Jamie Foxx and Colin Farrell. I go, what kind of action movie is this with 2 shower sex scenes?
Wait, what's that one again? What's that? Hold on.
Anyway, so fast forward, I'm watching Heroes, big hit show at the time.
Oh yeah.
And all of a sudden, this gun shows up on the show.
That was the guy with the glasses. He looks like falling down.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, he was on Dynasty. You know, so he's got the glasses, looks like a moron. He's got this gun, 5 seasons. This gun shredded everybody. Siler's got it. The cheerleaders got it. So it's like, it saw its day in the sun. The cheerleader actually came shooting Hayden Panettiere. She's a super good shooter.
So what we're saying is right now, Python, and I don't want to keep you on track, you know. Like, I want this to keep rolling because, like, I think everybody is enjoying your stories as much as I am. Yeah. But if I'm going to keep you to your 5, can we say, for number 5, we've got the Python from Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah.
Then for number 4, we're going to say the 1911 from
Magnum PI and Thief. The movie Thief, let's do a quick one, because the 1911 single stack is awesome. Michael Mann did Thief in 1982. So that was James Caan. He sent him to gun site to train there. So he's a little bit of a little Weaverish in there.
Sure.
But there's a cool scene in the final shootout. You'll see some technical mistakes. They went to a gunsmith here in the valley. They built a 6-inch gold cup. I have a gold cup somewhere, but it's in pieces. They built a 6-inch gold cup. So he's moving through the house with this bitchin', you know, high polished gun. When the shootout takes place, I don't think it fired blanks. They switched to a 5-inch. So there's one scene, everybody wondered, like, how does this happen? He kills the lead bad guy, the guy that threatens him. He's like, you work for me forever to your Billy Bunt dead. And he shotgunned Jim Belushi, you know, one party was flying. Michael Mann, he notices a thing with blasting guys against the wall with a shotgun. They go flying, and blood on the wall, it's just splattered. So when he goes, he's coming around the wall. He's got good tactics. It's really good. He's kind of a sausage because his jacket was so stiff. He wasn't being all stupid Weaver, right? So he comes around the corner. This guy comes out like a dummy with a nickel-plated 3-7 Magnum. He shoots him, double taps his tits, right? Blood flies out. He falls down. He's trying to get up with the gun. And nobody knows where the entrance wound is till you got HD version of it, right? He shoots him in the head. The whole wall just goes kaboom with blood, right? And he's like, stung. If you look close, the squib didn't work well. It was a skin squib, but there was no blood in it. But that's where he shot him right between the eyes.
I'm taking control of the situation to satisfy the viewers.
All right.
Name the best movie 1911. You just named like fucking 10 movies that all had 1911s.
It would be Thief. That gun today would be state of the art, worth $5 grand.
Okay.
Beautiful gun. Beaver tail, sights, everything on.
Number 3. What do we have?
Scarface.
Come on. Okay. Do you want to play rough? for my little friend.
The say hello to my little friend.
Yeah, the whole thing. The gun is insane. It's a, it's
M16A1 or A2.
M16, 20-inch with an M203 grenade launcher.
Yeah.
He's getting ready. It's just the scene is just one of the greatest scenes. Actually, Steven Spielberg directed that scene. Did you know that?
No, I had no clue.
He came in. He had directors come in for a day of filming that scene. They actually have to time the firing of the gun with the film. It's a whole behind the scenes 2 hour on the movie. It's crazy. They got kicked out of Miami because real drug lords were pissed off, and they filmed most of it in Los Angeles. It's crazy. But that shootout to me is unbelievably awesome. Just shredding the guys down. The banner, it does the reload. Gay! You fuck with me, you fuck with the best.
Gay! You fuck with me, you fucking with me back.
All that stuff. It's just, it's just one of the coolest shootouts ever. And the same gun you mentioned is in Predator.
Yeah, it's the same one as that Dutch has in Predator. It's funny. And I actually had my picture taken with it. There was an undisclosed location, the one. I'm going to try to hopefully pop it up in B-roll now. But yeah, that gun, I got to handle it, and it's like I'm such a huge Arnold Schwarzenegger guy.
Yeah. Now, there's a weird scene in that thing. No one will catch this, but a weirdo like me with the details, right? So he's shredding everybody, right? Get down, shredding guys. When he kicks in first he goes, stick it down, then he sticks that guy against the wall.
With a knife,
with a big old giant machete. Then he goes, and the guy he kills in this next scene is in every one of his movies. He's a big muscle bodybuilder friend. He's in everything. He was in Gladiator with the tigers and all that stuff. So he's like knock knock. He shoots the guy. Now what does he shoot him with? That's a giant shotgun round out of the M203 grenade launcher. It was not a bomb, and it wasn't the AR. So he gets hit with all his buckshot and goes flying out the back of the hut. He's a Billy fucking way out of this hole. So maybe this is what you're looking for. So bullshit out of it. They can't administer business. Get out of here. Please, we can kill it.
He does a lot of good impressions. Your Schwarzenegger is spot on. I mean, it just cracks me up every time. Like anytime I hear it. Let's move on to number 2. What do we have?
I don't want to be too biased because
no, it's okay. It's okay. Look, I'm just glad to have you on the program. I think a lot of people out here will agree with you. I mean, John Wick, right? I mean, that was.
Yeah, I mean, it's because the people behind the scenes really cared. I've done other movies like, make sure he's not Weaver stancing or cup and saucer. Get the hell out of here. A couple hours training. Hope they don't forget. I make sure I film them so they know their grip and remember. But the director pushed me brutal. Like it was just. He wanted every way of loading shotgun for part 2, AR reloads, everything in the world, and it made me a better trainer.
They care about the technical aspects being correct. It isn't like they're just going to send people here and be like, all right, whatever, here's your check.
Yeah.
Like we're on the way.
Yeah, they want him to, like, this one funny thing, Keanu called me, says, he goes, won't believe what happened here. And I go, what? He goes, I was so fast with the shotgun transitions. They said, we can't catch anything. You have to slow this all down. You're so fast, the stuntman can't even react to getting shot. So he had to slow everything down. He was so overtrained. I mean, not overtrained, but he was so damn good.
So we picking for your number 2. Are we doing a John Wick 2 or a John Wick 3? What is it?
Well, this is the 2. This is the 3. They're both combat masters. I'm going to say the 3. The 3 is my favorite. It's my favorite handgun in the world. It's just sick. 23 rounds, shoots 9 regular, 9 major, plus P, anything you want. So.
Yeah, no, I remember, and we did a video on it. I'll probably lay some B-roll over this right now, where we did, when I was here a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Before the movie came out, and you showed this to me, you let me shoot it. It was like one of the coolest things ever. And then I get to go see the movie, and I tell my friends, it's like, I shot that gun. I shot that gun before this movie. And they're like, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. You loser. Anyways, can we watch the movie? So this was actually a fantastic pistol, and if you want to elaborate on it a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's a 5.4-inch barrel instead of a regular 5-inch. It's got all of our cuts on it. The slide is lighter, so when it cycles, less mass bouncing around. It's got a match-grade bull barrel. It's super crazy accurate. Fiber optic sights, textured grip. It's got our magwell on there. It's got a 1 3/4 trigger. This thing is insane. They should come out the door usually with a 2-pound trigger. Ambidextrous safeties, oversized mag release button, a light rail for a flashlight. The slide has got this angle cut that I came up with years ago called the Butler cut. Infinity started doing it for me. Extreme engineering parts, the hammer and sear and disconnector are the best of the planet. These sights are made for me by Ken Sights. They're really great sights, fiber optic. The gun is just, I mean, it's a full-on competition gun too. For limited division, you can't beat it. So.
I mean, it's a real gun that was in a movie. It isn't like we were talking about Scaramanga, like the man with the golden gun. That wasn't a real gun, or like one you'd want to shoot a match with, right? This is a real practical, tactical gun.
And just off the record, we have another gun that's very similar to it. This is the 5-inch. This is a gun I designed with Infinity for Fast 8, right there on the wall, for Jason Statham. He does a scene on the plane. He's actually killing Keanu's stuntman. It's the one he knocks onto the glass thing. That's Jackson Spidell. All the guys are all the John Wick guys, the stunt coordinators, all the John Wick people with Jason, with this gun. Does a bunch of wild, fancy reloads with it. Again, it's almost identical. It's the same capacity, same, shoots 9 major if you want. Just a beautiful, like $6,000 gun that he had for that movie. There's an R-rated version on his Facebook.
Oh my God, this weighs a ton.
Yeah, watch the R-rated version of the Shootout on his Facebook. It's a lot better than the PG-13 version.
All right, so for your number 2, we've got the gun from John Wick 3.
Yeah.
For your number 1, we've got the gun from SpongeBob SquarePants.
You ass. This is the gun that's the most influential gun, I think, in movie history, for me also.
Oh, definitely the gun from RoboCop.
The original Dirty Harry 44 Magnum. Not a 6-inch or 8 3/8, it's a 6.5-inch. There's a rumor out there, a myth, that it was a 41 Magnum because they couldn't get 44 Mag. Well, in the movie in HD, if you watch it on HBO, whatever, you can see it says 44 Magnum right before he shoots Scorpio. So it might have been a 41 Mag he threw by the cross in the cement because who cares about a 41 Mag, a turd. But the real 44 Mag he actually has in the movie.
Sure, and like when we were talking to Larry at ISS, and he's got a couple of these, you know, people don't realize there's like 10 guns that they used in that movie. You know, it's like, whenever you use a gun for a movie, you don't have just the one.
No, there's a lot of guns.
Yeah, and then depending on the armor, it could be...
In other countries, you got to build the guns again.
Yeah.
So in New York, we had to do all the same guns for Wick in New York, and then again in Rome, and it's a lot of guns.
How was the gunplay, in your personal opinion, Dirty Harry?
It was great. I loved it. I mean, there's no mistakes in the capacity. He doesn't overshoot any more than 6 rounds each time. The 458 Magnum was a weird choice for the rooftop because you'd be blowing through 5 billion floors. But it's cool because it's the most powerful handgun, most powerful rifle because he's Dirty Harry. But I think it's some of the best gunplay because the impact on him, the bullet holes, realistic, all of it was good.
I mean, Die Hard or Lethal Weapon, which one's better?
Oh, it's hard to Die
Hard
Hard
definitely,
well,
I agree. It's Die Hard. That's what you just said.
They're both Christmas movies. Die Hard is unbelievably awesome.
Yeah, it is. They are both Christmas movies. You guys hear that? We talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
And now, if Taryn says it, it must be true.
Yeah.
Any other movies that 44 Magnum? We got some famous.
Well, 48 Hours, the 4-inch 44 Magnum, which is right over here.
Oh, here we go. Go ahead. Go ahead. We got to get it.
Okay.
We're good. We'll knock all the lights over. I want all this to be in the video.
So, I really like the 4-inch 44 Magnum. This is a new one, Smith & Wesson. It's all engraved. It's not even very expensive. Beautiful gun. I have one in the house for self-defense for no apparent reason, in case some giant Bigfoot comes in and boom, he's flying out the window in super slow motion.
It'd be a bad day. Imagine breaking into Taryn's house and he's there with a 44 Magnum.
So in 48 Hours, Jack Cates, which is Nick Nolte, has a 44 Magnum, and the bad guy's got a 44 Magnum. So he loses his gun, he throws it down like a dumbass, lets his partner get killed, the guy from Breaking Bad. Then he gets a 45, and at the end he's like, you know, I got your gun, I got the money, I got everything. He's like, you lose, and and then Gans goes flying backward. It's pretty cool. So
well, it's funny because I knew this was going to be an impossible task. I knew to try to get you to just do 5 guns was going to be impossible, but I don't care, and I don't think anyone watching this cares because Taryn, that was I got to say it was mystical. You walking us through your no, I love it. Your enthusiasm shows for cinema, and as well as your technical knowledge with firearms. And I have to say thank you for sharing that with me and with all the viewers of TFB.
I did leave out one big movie though.
See, here we go. Keep it rolling.
Not that there was a gun that was that great. Maybe it was. In Heat. Heat's a movie they all talk about, the greatest shootout ever. A couple things I'll mention about that. I mean, the trainer was Mick Gould, same guy I met during Miami Vice. I also went to Wisconsin Dells to work with them.
Yeah, and he did Collateral.
Public Enemies. I worked on Public Enemies with Johnny Depp and the same thing. That shootout's great, but this is the weirdest thing you'll ever experience. Heat was already made before Heat. Did you know that?
No.
Okay, Heat was 1995. Okay, a movie came out called LA Takedown in 1989. Okay, 6 years before. It's the exact same movie. Hannah, Vincent, all the characters. There's Wayne Grow, all of it. It's made before. Michael Rooker's in it. Alec Baldwin's brother. And this movie was made after Miami Vice was canceled or over. Michael Mann wanted to do an LA version called LA Takedown. It was a pilot, it didn't make it. And then he's like, he hid it from the world. Then he made, as he's making Heat, he said to everybody on set, don't you tell De Niro and Pacino I made this before, I'll fire your ass. So they made it. He basically just got the money to make Heat better. But if you want to blow your mind, they got a Spaz 15 in the scene with the bank scene. The lead cop's blasting with a Spaz.
So the movie came out. You can
you can watch it right now on YouTube.
Okay.
Put an LA Takedown and you'll be watching Heat.
Okay.
The whole scene with the famous scene, I see you coming around that corner, I will not hesitate. The whole thing, all of it is there. The exact movie.
What was your favorite gun from Heat then?
The little car 15 that Val Kilmer had.
Yeah, for sure.
But still, Dirty Harry to me will always be the king. You're never going to beat it. Most powerful handgun in the world at the time. And the Shootouts are great. One of the greatest bad guys of all time. You can't beat Scorpio. I mean, how do you beat Scorpio? He was so good.
Well, like I said, Taryn, it's great having you on the program to do this. We've talked before over the years. I know just as soon as you start talking about movies, you know, the amount of knowledge you have. I mean, you're like a living encyclopedia. You're a gun guy, really a gun guy, but you're a movie guy first, it almost seems. Yeah. You know, so again, thanks a ton for sharing your knowledge with us. Thanks for sharing your stories, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. We'll be bringing you more TFB TV. Make sure to like and subscribe and stay tuned.